Hey, this video is for the people in the manifesting a specific person realm. At least that's the perspective I'm speaking from, and I think this is the area that a lot of people are coming from. But it also applies to anything else, any other big manifestation that seems really important to you. And what I want to talk about is desperation. Which is, I think, a very repulsive, repellent thing. It's an energetic thing that other people can sense on you. And when you are in a state of desperation, if you get the thing you want, you will lose it. You will smother it, or it will move away from you. And I, of course, I don't understand the energetic science behind that, but I'm pretty sure it will at some point be discovered how this works energetically. I don't think this is woo-woo magic. I think it is as yet undiscovered physical provable law. And I think that desperation in any area has a root cause, which is not feeling comfortable with the idea that we don't know why we're here. We know on some level that we came into the world alone. We know on some level that we're leaving alone, and that no thing and no person can change that. No thing and no person can answer these questions or take away the reality of all these unknowns. And that it can either be a terrifying thing or it can be a whatever thing. I promise it can become a whatever thing. That's what finding Neville did for me. Neville was the final puzzle piece for me that made me realize that that's all okay. Because it made me fully realize that I'm the creator here, and that the reality that I'm experiencing is my own creation, basically. Whether or not I created this actual physical reality somehow, I don't care. What I understand now is that my consciousness is all that's here, for real. And from that state of desperation, from that state of fear, which is really all it is. It's just sort of a pure, utter, underlying, all the time, barely perceptible in some cases, sense of terror and insecurity. That is where I think all these desperate behaviors stem from. It's not that you're desperate to get money, and it's not that you're desperate to get a person. It's that you're desperate to get the thing that you think those things are going to give you. You believe on some level that those things will provide you with an underlying sense of everything is all right now. Everything is okay. Or I'm okay. And I've been thinking about desperation because, this whole channel and this whole genre of manifestation centers around the mind. All is mind. Everything is mental. And it's all about your perception and your control of your thoughts. And when you're in a state of desperation, which you may be watching this and saying, I'm not, and I'm guessing that you probably are, because I think most people are to some degree or another. When you're in that state, it blinds you. It blinds you. It changes your behavior. It changes your choices. Thus, it changes your experience. Your outer world absolutely would look different if you made different choices not based on desperation. the thing that comes to mind for me, I was thinking about some past relationships I've had where I wasn't the desperate person. The person I was, dating or whatever, was desperate for me. And I remember how I felt, specifically I was thinking about how at certain times I've had people want a relationship, want me in their life so badly that they didn't seem to care about me at all, if that makes sense. They, if I needed something that seemed to threaten their feeling of having a lock on me, they would freak out and turn on me even, at the very least, express a lot of disappointment that I wasn't delivering the thing that they needed for their own security. It's very obvious to me. And I was just thinking about this yesterday. In those scenarios, I can come up with 3 different scenarios where I had people respond to me that way. If they had backed off and said, hey, do what you've got to do for yourself. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I love you. I want to be with you. And that's the bottom line. You have to do what's right for you. If they had that reaction, or if they had been able to give that, if they had that to give, then everything in the outer world would have played out differently. Those relationships all ended quickly because that kind of vibe was repulsive to me. It was a very self-centered thing that made me feel like it wasn't really me that they wanted. It was, it was something that I was providing. It wasn't a relationship with me. And it was gross. I don't know. It repulsed me. And, I can come up with 3 scenarios where somebody's been like that with me. I don't even want to think about this, honestly. I could probably come up with 20 where I've been like that to somebody else. Like, how dare you take care of your own needs instead of mine? Masked as a romantic disappointment, basically. I think a lot of the specific person manifestation stuff comes from desperation. Now, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying I don't think you can manifest back a person, manifest a relationship that you want the way you want it. I think you can, but this underlying insecurity and, feelings of low self-worth, feelings of generalized insecurity towards your orientation to whatever this life is, without those things being plumbed, essentially, and roto-rooted, and fixed, righted, I think most people are destined to run on the hamster wheel. You can use this law, these universal techniques that seem to work for most people to make things happen, but your experience of them is going to suck. And I've never understood addressing symptoms when you can address the cause. Manifesting back a person is addressing the symptom of the person not being there and not giving you the thing you want. The cause is, why do I need? What about this do I, where's my need coming from? It literally changes the outer reality of your life. You make hundreds, if not thousands, of minor decisions every day. You make decisions that seem insignificant, that are significant, just outside of your perception. We don't know how everything we do is impacting everything else. And, everything emanates from you. So all of those decisions are impacted by your orientation, your feelings and beliefs about yourself, other people, the way everything works, what we're here for. All of your decisions are impacted by that. Every single one. Every single one. All the little decisions. What time you get out of bed. Everything. So, a lot of time and energy is expended on that person. That time and energy expended on you, the return on the investment for that would be enormous, whereas the return on the investment for the specific person, the energy going into that is iffy. Might not get anything from it. You might manifest back the person and then not be able to do anything with it. So I just wanted to talk about that. There's a lot of desperation apparent. When people are stalking other people on social media, analyzing every detail. By the way, I'm speaking from experience here, analyzing every detail of things that are said. I think that comes from a place of just, it's you. It's insecurity. It's an insecure foundation, and the best place you can invest your time and energy is in you. And when you get to a plan, I've seen this play out in my own life rapidly and right before my eyes, especially when I had like an awakening in December, and there was a major shift. Everything changed. Everything shifted. It just, I don't know how else to put it. Like, every relationship I have changed instantly. Because, my reaction to somebody perhaps saying that they needed to focus on their own life a little bit, like, let's say a romantic interest or whatever, saying I need to kind of focus, I think I need to focus on my own life. In my mind, I'd be saying, you're just saying that, it's just because you don't like me. It's just because you don't want me. It's because I'm not good enough. Whereas now, if something like that is said, in fact, I had a conversation with Steve a couple weeks ago, which I am absolutely sure I would have interpreted completely differently. And then the last couple weeks probably wouldn't have played out the way that they did, Things between Steve and I are really good. Like, we're really good friends. And there's this whole romantic aspect to it. Like, I know that this relationship is either going to go somewhere really good, or it's going to, like, everything that can get milked out of it is going to get milked out of it because of this orientation towards it. Like, there's no losing here for me. I can't lose here because I'm already getting all this stuff from it. And the way I feel about romantic relationships at this point is, I don't need it. And if someone doesn't want one with me, it's not a reflection on me or what I have to offer. It's hard to have that attitude in the moment, but that is my underlying orientation towards it. I just don't care. And when you really care about somebody else, if they say they need something for themselves, you let them have it. You don't say, no, give me what I need and sacrifice yourself. That is not love. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. I don't feel ashamed if you fall into the desperate category. It's a shameful feeling to think that, especially, I don't know, it's a shameful feeling to feel like you're desperate for something that you don't have. But the good news is that the key to that, the permanent key, the one that is not dependent on the outside world, is within you. And it's just meditating on and exploring the fact that you are the operant power in your universe, and you have control over your whole experience, start to finish. And I think believing that there's a benevolent reason for all of this is really helpful. And that can be cultivated. It doesn't have to be authentic. You know, nothing is really authentic. Everything is really just programming.